Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Chanel. Today, the story feels bigger than a single speech or breaking headline. It is a moment shaped by power, strategy, and uncertainty. The United States captured Nicolás Maduro, the leader who ruled Venezuela for years, and yet the message coming from Washington is that the country is not at war with Venezuela. That statement has raised questions around the world. Can there be military operations, arrests, and enormous political pressure without calling it a war? In this script, we walk through the situation the way we might evaluate a complex product, looking at the exterior, interior, performance, safety features, the unique details, the real costs, and finally what it all may mean going forward. From the outside, the exterior is everything people see first. There are images of soldiers, aircraft, diplomatic statements, protests, and courts preparing for high-profile charges. Venezuela has been struggling with economic collapse, shortages, and political division for years. Many people fled the country searching for stability. The capture of Maduro looks, on the surface, like a dramatic turning point. To some, it appears like justice catching up. To others, it feels like foreign intrusion into a sovereign nation. This exterior layer is emotional, loud, and intense. News reports race to analyze every movement. Governments across Latin America speak cautiously, aware that instability in one nation can spread quickly across borders. Ordinary Venezuelans wonder whether life will get better or whether new chaos may come. The image from afar is both powerful and fragile, like a storm cloud forming over a city that has already survived too many storms. Inside the situation, the interior is far more complicated, and here the paragraph remains intentionally short. U.S. officials describe the operation not as war, but as a targeted effort tied to criminal charges, sanctions, and a promise to restore stability. They frame it as law enforcement at a global scale, mixed with diplomacy, political strategy, and pressure. They want the world to see intention rather than invasion. When we talk about performance, we think about how well the strategy is working. The capture has produced rapid reactions. Political allies praise the move as decisive. Critics argue it risks escalating violence and invites retaliation. Maduro's supporters call it illegitimate. Courts now hold center stage, preparing to decide legal questions that stretch across countries and legal systems. International organizations debate how to respond. Some leaders view the removal of an authoritarian figure as an opportunity. Others warn that if the leadership vacuum becomes uncontrolled, it could invite criminal networks, opportunistic groups, or rival factions to fight for power. Performance, in this sense, is measured not in victories, but in stability, credibility, and human impact. Every diplomatic handshake or strong statement becomes part of the scoreboard. Every rumor of unrest adds weight to the other side. Safety features in a geopolitical machine are meant to prevent total breakdown. In this case, those safeguards are diplomacy, humanitarian planning, regional cooperation, and limits on military escalation. Leaders insist that they do not want an endless conflict. The stated goal is to protect civilians, avoid full-scale combat, and push the country toward lawful governance. Yet safety features are only effective if they hold under pressure. If the Venezuelan economy continues collapsing, hunger grows, or armed groups fight for power, the system could strain to the breaking point. Nearby countries prepare their borders. Aid agencies plan contingencies. Even the people who support the operation quietly worry about unintended consequences. Instead of a protective cushion, the region feels like it is balancing on thin ice, hoping it does not crack. What makes this situation unique is not only the capture itself, but the framing. A world-famous leader is detained, but the government responsible says this is not a war. There is unusual blending of law enforcement, foreign policy, and military power, all described as part of a stabilization mission. Another unique element is symbolism. Venezuela sits in the Western Hemisphere, historically sensitive to outside intervention. Every move is watched by rivals, allies, and ordinary citizens who remember other conflicts. Technology also plays a role. Social media amplifies every rumor, every clip, and every emotional reaction. In minutes, narratives spread that can influence politics before officials even respond. The uniqueness lies in speed, legal complexity, and the fact that the story feels like both a courtroom drama and a geopolitical showdown at the same time. For now, the world watches carefully. Some hope this moment opens the door to rebuilding a nation that has endured so much hardship. Others fear it may be the beginning of another chapter of outside interference and domestic turmoil. History rarely moves in straight lines. This moment is another reminder that power, justice, and responsibility are intertwined and often uncomfortable. As events unfold, the most important voices belong to the people whose lives are shaped by these decisions, both in Venezuela and beyond. The story is still being written, and the consequences will echo far longer than the headlines that first brought it to our screens.